Nurses who don't like birth plans, or the nurses who roll their eyes at birth plans. These people you do not want for a natural birth. Because first of all, that energy doesn't exactly feel so good. And if you don't have someone to protect your space, if you haven't also cultivated your mindset, if you don't have the right environment around you, if you aren't strong in your knowledge, then these kinds of nurses can derail your birth plan. These are the kinds of nurses who you will say you don't want an epidural, and they'll keep asking you anyway. These are the kind of nurses that even if you write very clearly in your birth plan that you do not want vaginal exams, they're going to continue to tell you the reasons why they need to do a vaginal exam. This is what happened to Jenny. Like, she basically knew that this nurse was probably going to try to push some stuff, but didn't need to. So it went like this. Nurse C comes up to Jenny and says to her, I need to do a vaginal exam to see if you're admittable. And Jenny says, no vaginal exams. She says, well, I need to do a vaginal exam to know if I need to call the doctor. And the doula's like, oh, you should probably call the doctor. And then Nurse C's like, I need to do a vaginal exam to be able to assess progress. And again, Jenny's like, no, you're not doing a vaginal exam. Like, F off, basically. Because this is what they keep doing. Because in their mind, they have a checklist to follow. In their mind, this is the way they've always done things. If you've got a nurse who doesn't like to follow birth plans, it's because they have their own plan. They have their own agenda. They only want to practice the way they've always practiced. They have no idea how to practice any other way, and they're not open to learning. Like this nurse who was basically in charge at that time that Jenny was in the hospital, she had no appreciation for physiological birth at all. In fact, at one point, she even said to Jenny, what you're doing is dangerous. Like the fact that while Jenny was laboring beautifully, I might add, and about to birth her baby, the nurse kept trying to do the Doppler. And Jenny's like trying to get her away. She's like, I don't need this right now. Like, I'm literally pushing the baby out. Then the nurse is like, I can't find the heartbeat. And she's like, of course you can't, because the baby is literally coming out. The baby's not up here. Baby's coming down. And then like the nurse leaves the room. And then she comes back and she has absolutely no concept of how to support a physiological birth. She only knows how to support a birth that follows the typical protocol of getting in the bed, having the IV, getting the blood drawn in case you need a C-section. Like this was her mindset of, I need to take your blood right now. Jenny's like, why? And she's like, well, I need to do it for admission. She's like, you're not taking my blood right now. I'm pushing a baby out. And the reason why she wanted the blood drawn was to tell what Jenny's blood type was in case Jenny needed a C-section and needed blood. Like she was literally birthing her baby, and this is how this nurse operated. So that's what you really want to know, is that if you have a nurse who does not respect birth plans, ask for a new nurse. Or at the very least, make sure that you are strong enough with your advocacy and your partner is strong in the advocacy and your doula is strong in the advocacy, so that nurse can just hover around in the background and she can cross her arms and be all disgruntled about it, but can't actually do anything and can't derail the birth plan itself. Because that's basically what happened. Jenny was so far into her power and she knew what she wanted. And the doula that she hired was actually really amazing too. And then her partner was also trained, so they knew what they wanted. It didn't matter where they birthed. They went to the hospital, but they could have birthed anywhere and had the same outcome, because it was really just her doula, and her partner working together in that space, no interference. And even though the nurse tried to interfere, there was no interference necessary. And Nursey just had to sit back and watch a physiological birth happen. And she was just like, she had no concept that this is actually how birth is supposed to be. She had no idea what she was actually witnessing was birth in its rawest, most beautiful form possible. So that's what I wanted to share with you today. And if you want the full list, all you have to do is go to empoweringmomsbirth.com/shop, and you can download the free guide there. Okay? All right. I'll see you next week. Talk to you soon.